Welcome back to 4.1 part 2, DMS, degrees, minutes, and seconds. You're like, what? Degrees, minutes, and seconds in angles? How does that get to do with angles, right? We're not learning how to tie up time, but we do have degrees, minutes, and seconds actually. If you look at the clock right now, is it exactly 2:39 or whatever the time it is right now? Is it exactly that time? No, time is a continuous motion, right? So you have actually like some seconds involved as well. You just don't see it. Same with degrees. If you have a target that's really small and you're trying to aim with a gun, right? Try to shoot this small little thing up in the air and you're trying to hit this target. You can't just be like, okay, it's about 31 degrees. No, it's actually the more accurate you are, the more sure you're going to be to hit the target. So you have degrees, not just degrees, because we always just talk about degrees, right? Like, okay, it's 35 degrees. Okay, it's 10 degrees. No, there's also other small, more accurate way to tell angles. That's DMS, okay? And you're going to be shocked because DMS exists in your calculator as well that we're going to see, that you are going to learn how to execute that you've never maybe seen before, okay? All right, so we have this first angle here, so we'll practice a little bit, okay? 12.46 degrees. This is actually decimal degrees right now, but we're going to make it into DMS. Degrees, minutes, and secs. Okay, DMS. All right, so we have decimal degrees, 12.46 degrees. What the factor? Okay, okay. So now, A. We need degrees, we need a minute, and we need a second. So I feel like we all understand that we have exactly 12 degrees for sure. Let's establish that. Do you have 12 degrees for sure? You do. But you also have 0.46 of a degree. What does that mean? Okay, that's what we're going to discuss. 12.46 degree, we're going to go DMS. We have a decimal degree, we're going to DMS, degrees, minutes, and seconds. So we have this minute, and we have this as seconds or secs, okay? All right, but we've already established that we have 12 degrees. Okay, how do we get the 0.46 now? Okay, let's do this. So we have 12 degrees. We have more. We have to, it's not, the target is not exactly at 12 degrees. It's actually 0.46 too, right? So we're going to go 0.46 of what? In an hour, there are how many minutes is what you have to consider. There are 60 minutes, okay? All right, so we're going to do that. And you know what happens when I do that? I get 27.6. Again, make sure you're using your calculator. When I multiply that, I get 27.6. That means I have 27 minutes. This guy here is the value that you're looking for. So you have 27 minutes for sure. But you have this 0.6, right? You have this 0.6 next to it. That means you have to do what? Let's try to use your brains here. That's your minute. 27 is your minute. You need your seconds. But you have 0.6 of seconds. 60 seconds in 1 minute, right? So you have 0.6 times 60. So what are this number here, this 0.6 that's left over, gets transferred here, and you have to multiply it by however many seconds are in a minute. So it's 36 here. Okay? Now, in some cases, there's going to be decimals here as well, right? And if there is, you have to put the decimal here. And always round to the nearest thousands. Remember, we talked about this on the videos that you watched at day 1, right? Always round to the nearest thousands or 3 digits after the decimal. We're going to do AP standards here, okay? So we put here 36 seconds, okay? So it's 12.46 degrees in decimal. It becomes 12 degrees, 27 minutes, and 36 seconds. DMS, okay? All right, let's try the reverse, right? Now I give you DMS. I'm going to give you DMS. Okay, now you're going to have to go decimal degrees. And I can see how some of you guys, your brains are going crazy right now. You're like, duh, I know what to do already, okay? So remembering this concept, but you're doing reverse. So we're going to go like this, B. We have 120 degrees, 30 minutes, and 24 secs. How do we go back? We already know fishizzle that we have 120 degrees. So we know this much at least. Okay, so make sure you do that and you put a little decimal there because you know you have 120 degrees. Okay, but how do I get 30 minutes and 24 seconds? And I hope you guys can kind of like see how 30 minutes is half of 60. So I hope you can see why it's 0.5, but I'm going to show you how to get that. Plus, it's 30 minutes of 60, right? But not of it's of 1 over 60. It's 30 minutes of 60 minutes in 1 hour, if you think about it. So think about that again. We have 30 minutes, but you have 60 minutes in an hour. So how much is 30 of 60 minutes, right? Okay. Now, then how about 24 seconds? How does 24 seconds relate in a whole hour? Like if you think about the second hand, it's at 24 seconds, right? How much of the circle is it covering? And if you go around one rotation, isn't that 60 minutes? But how many seconds are in 60 minutes or in an hour? That's how you got to think about this. And so this becomes 1 over 3,600. 3,600 because it's 60 seconds in 60 minutes. Let's let that digest a little bit, okay? And when you do the calculation here, I get this. 120 point, this is 0.5, okay? And this guy, it becomes 0.006, okay? So it's 0.506, like that. So it becomes 120 degrees, 0.506. This is good enough. Or you can leave it as 120. Oh, make sure you put a degree symbol there. Oh, sorry. You know what? This looks a little messy, so let's go like that. Degrees. Or 120.507 degrees is okay with me because it's 0.506666 continuously. So you can just round up to 7. Okay? So again, 120 degrees, 30 minutes, 24 seconds becomes 120.507 degrees in decimal. Okay? Now, I think the most difficult part for students is this part here. Why is it 1 over 3,600? Why is it 1 over 60? Why don't you guys go ahead and ask your neighbor? Okay? Look around. Find the neighbor that looks most promising. Okay? But the good news is, all this can be done on your calculators. Let's look at your calculators, okay? I'm going to show you steps. So now let's go to the calculator and see how this can all be done with the calculator, right? So we're going to go into your calculator. Just make sure that you're in the degree or the radian mode, right? But you could actually have to be on degree mode for this section. 99% of the time in calculus, you're going to have to be in radian mode, but you're going to be in degree mode. I think now the newer version of the calculator, you can just kind of click on this. If you can't, you just have to go to menu, just kidding, document, and go to save settings and document setting. And I like to have it as fixed 3 degree for now. And here, the calculation mode, I just put it as approximate because I want decimal values up to fixed 3. So 10,000 space, okay? Thousandths position, sorry, thousandth, okay? So it goes 10th, 100th, and 1000th, 3 spaces after the decimal, 3 values, okay? So now, you remember the first value that we had on our notes, right? It was, let's do this one first. 120 degrees and 30 minutes and 24 seconds, right? So we're going to go, remember that. Just look at your notes as we work on this. I don't know if you guys know, but next to number 9, this is called an equation editor. This is called a catalog. The book is called a catalog. Number 9 next door is called the equation editor. And I think a lot of you guys have used this equation editor, but you've never maybe called it equation editor. But this is an equation editor. And if you look below the fraction, the rational number here, it's degrees, minutes, and seconds. Maybe you never knew what that was. But when you click on it, they say, hey, plug in a degree, a minute, and a second. So let's go 120 degrees, 30 minutes, and it was 24 seconds, right? Ta-da! It gives you the degree of that angle, which is 120.507 degrees, like we talked about. Cross-reference that with your notes. Isn't that what we got? So now you're like, wait, could we do the other one? Of course. So you know how we had 12.46 decimal degrees? That's with decimal degrees for part A, right? For this case, we're going reverse. So what you're going to do is not press the equation editor because you don't want DMS. I mean, you want DMS. But this is when you're inputting DMS, right? But you have the decimal degree, so you want DMS. So what you do is not the equation editor, but you go to the book, which is called a catalog. And you're going to scroll down all the way to where you see DMS. If you have the wizards on your calculator, that means it tells you exactly the actual syntax that you need to enter the DMS. So we're going to go DMS, okay? I don't want to, oh, what is happening? Let's get out of here. Okay, so let's go to book, catalog, and you're going to go, okay, DMS. Just click on it, okay? And you're changing the decimal degree into DMS. It's what you're commanding it to do. What should we get? I hope we get 12 degrees, 27 minutes, and 36 seconds. And do we get that? Ta-da! And we do. And I love that your calculator always does fixed 3 for you here. Even if it's just zeros, it'll do fixed 3 every time if you have the setting set up correctly. And I hope you did that with your calculator the first day when I wasn't here, and you remember how that you had a list of things that tasks you needed to complete. I hope you did that, okay? So you guys, that's how you do DMS. And honestly, if it was a test or a quiz, unless we really ask for it, you can use your calculator for DMS, okay? All right, well, I hope you learned something. I'll see you back second day of your lesson for chapter 4.1, okay? All right, see you later, alligators. Have a great day.